John Wayne Mercure, the Sonneteer, from beautiful Chandler, Arizona, the Society of Living Poets. Robin Williams, I'm so sorry he's dead. He's one of my heroes. His movies are fabulous. He was a comedian. He could do drama. He could do anything. And I miss the guy, and he's gone. And he had a society, the Society of the Dead Poets Society. Dead poets. Well, why can't we have a Society of Living Poets? Because we do. And dead poets too. They're all important. Did you know why poetry is important? And writing is important? Listen to this. We see how far the monuments of wit and learning are more durable than the monuments of power or of the hands. Have not the verses of Homer, the Iliad, the Aeneid, the Achilles, they've continued 2,500 years or more without the loss of a syllable or even a letter, during which time infinite palaces, temples, castles, cities have been decayed or demolished. Francis Bacon, a great scientist, wrote that, and he died in 1626. He's saying, hey, the written word is what lasts. The spoken word's right there too. And you got to understand that this sonneteer right here, when I'm writing about these things, I am truly trying to sit down and create honor for someone I really admire. And I just had a sonnet I read, the sonnet number, well, this one was 132. I wrote it 15 years ago, 14, 15 years ago. Gee, it's about my mother-in-law. I want to honor her. Why? A lot of guys out there, you hate your mother-in-law. What the hell is wrong with you? That's your lady's mother. Don't you think that she expects you to provide? Don't you think she wants the best for her daughter? The same for her father-in-law. I adored my father-in-law. And my mother-in-law was wonderful. And that's what this is about, my wonderful mother-in-law. And here's a picture of her. She's beautiful. Okay? And she's beautiful inside and out, too. She's just a really, really nice lady. And that's how I remember her. I always remember her like this. She was the reason her husband made it back from combat in World War II. So I want to honor her by this sonnet. Sonnet number 132, my wonderful mother-in-law, Lady Lucella Rose. She was a rose. Lady loyal, lady great, the spouse, the wife of Captain James Leal Widger. Royal bearing, she was a noble lady. Ravishing good looks, she was gorgeous, better than Betty Grable in the movies in Hollywood. The light of her mother's eyes, she's a good mother. When she was a little girl, she was the darling of the family. She was always the darling of the family. A bright lady, Lucella Rose. Erudite wisdom, she was very smart. The honorable wife of an American combat officer, a captain of artillery in charge of 200 lives. The best mother herself, she was a great mother. It could not ever have else been possibly anything other than that. She was wonderful. A mother bear for her children, a defender, an advocate, a queen bee, always busy, doing good things. Time has tarnished not her stunning beauty, her eyes shining bright. Sublime memories of this wonderful lady, graceful lady, accepting me, encircling light, letting me be part of their family, the son-in-law. It was my honor. The officer, Captain James Leal Widger, of highest honor, a captain of 200 men, World War II valor. Her beauty held tightly within his heart. Home was safe with her. And he would show photographs of Lucella Rose, of his beautiful wife, to his men with great pride. And knowing too late that most of his men had no one waiting stateside, he'd show those pictures of his wife to these men, and a lot of them would turn away with tears in their eyes because they had nobody. And he had this gorgeous lady, Rose, at home that adored him and was a great lady and waiting for him. And he was movie star looking himself, Captain James Leal Widger, and his lady was better than Betty Grable. So he had to put the photos away because the lonely desires of these poor guys were kept stoically inside, how they were suffering. They had nobody at home, nobody to love, No man had better reason to survive because of Lucella Rose. His home was blessed by paradise of this nice lady Rose. Many valiant men perished alone. They had nobody. No comforting solace or comfort from home. No letters. Nobody cared, it seemed like, except the men around you, and that's important. Any soldier can tell you the value of having a special someone home. Maybe a soulmate, someone that loves you and you love them, and you don't even know why, but it's there, and love is just so beautiful. Spectacularly beauty, this lady, Lucella Rose, sitting on a car in glamorous photo enshrined, and I showed you that photo. I can't tell you how nice this lady is. It's just the remarkable phenomenon of the kind of person she still is. That same lady for all of time. She's the same person inside and out. A faithful wife, wonderful, affectionate, trustworthy grandmother. The lives of my two precious daughters were entrusted to very few others. I didn't trust anybody else but her. Splendid cook. Baker of the world's best apple and cherry pies. Man, could she cook. Stupid, foolish men, they respect not their lady's mother's eyes. Your mother-in-law, that's your lady's mother, and you better be careful. You're supposed to provide. You're supposed to make everybody proud. It's your job as a gentleman of righteousness and strength. We used to go on fishing trips, more than 100, campfire cookouts, trolling on a high, beautiful Rocky Mountain alpine lake. Wishing Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving, Christmas dinners. I wish all of you had them just as great as those were. The memories in her, they were so wonderful. And because of this lady, vain and rude men, they quarrel and they get angry with their wives' mothers. And they're ingrates. You're shaming that woman who's the mother of your wife. Try taking her a gift. It says in the last verse in Ruth, I missed it. In the last verse in Ruth, don't you ever show up at your mother-in-law's house without a gift. Good advice. And I always take gifts to people now. Why? Why not? A tribute of our friendship. Anyway, guys, the fact is, when you insult your mother-in-law, you're insulting your soulmate's blood. Her parent, her mother, great. Men, you got to honor your beautiful wife's mother like she was your own mother. The sin of intentional disrespect sullies honoring your own home. You're dishonoring your own home when you don't like your mother-in-law. Honor thy father and thy mother by blood and by holy marital law. Altar, that's a covenant, that's an oath. A commandment number 5. Number 5. A good and just law. You got to remember. Never a better mother-in-law than Lady Red Rose Lucella Rose. And I'm the son-in-law, and she's been gone a long time, but I want to live her on in the cyberspace with this sonnet, and it's out there. And I wrote this, 14 years ago. I'm just telling you, hey, you guys out there, you better honor your mother-in-law. Sit down and make a video. Do it. Do it for me. Do it for mothers everywhere. Do it for ladies everywhere that nobody ever writes them a poem. I had a really famous woman one time, and she said, nobody's ever wrote a poem for me. What? She's a famous poet. Nobody ever wrote her a poem. I wrote her too. And she was a great lady. She was a member of the Society of Living Poets. I'm just telling you, your mother-in-law, your mother, you better take your mother treats. Your mother, that's a different thing. You're going to say, hey, how many presents have you given your mother lately? How many Hershey bars have you given her? How come you haven't taken her a rose and said, here, mother, this reminds me of you. I love you so much. Thank you for all you've done. If I could just do that to my own mother who's in heaven, I try to honor her, and I'm trying to honor Lucella Rose and her husband, Captain James Leo Widger. Why? Because I'm the lucky one. And we're known by the people we are around. And that's what freedom is. It's freedom of association. I can associate with really great people. And here's a lady. And here's her husband. And here's the fact that God let me see it all and talk to you in cyberspace. You guys start making videos. Honor your mother-in-law, your wife, your friends. Do it in the name of liberty and freedom. To show, I'll tell you what, when you sit down and you're going to write something, it has to be like, God must feel like that. To create something beautiful out of nothing. God creates things beautiful out of nothing with thought. And you can think and create your own talent. What I'm telling you is it's not as hard as you think. Just right from your heart, your soul. But I thank Lady Lucella Rose, and I want her memory to live on forever out there in cyberspace, and I did my duty. God bless you and your husband, and God bless us everyone. Ja Allah, Allah, pour moi, pour vous, mes amis, au revoir. Thank you for listening.